most recently with the situation in Ukraine, where the Web3 community had already set up a DAO and had already transferred millions of dollars in assets within seconds of the request. Seconds, under 10. And that's something that you don't see anywhere else. Like no other nonprofit organization could even come close to that. The governments of the world took weeks to even respond, and because they had to wait till they were all in their nice suits in a nice, comfy room with the air conditioning and the bottled waters, and then they can talk about this thing that's not affecting them. But but in Web3, what you see is a group of people that many of which were affected or had family that were affected or had relationships with business people there or whatever, because everything's borderless. And so it was very personal and very real because it was part of their community that's being affected. And they go, I'm not waiting on these people to go have a nice conversation in 3 weeks. I'm going to help now. And it's not only quicker, which is of essence in an emergency, obviously, but it's also, it's more efficient. You have less slippage, right? Because with most nonprofit organizations, at least in America, you can go and look, because that's the thing about it. Nobody ever does, but you can actually go and look at their financials in most cases. And anywhere from, I think on the low end, you can see like 30 to 40% is lost, but in the high end, it's like 80, 90% is lost to operational costs, which is, a lot of times it's the CEO salary of $1 million or some shit like that. Right. And you go, well, I didn't donate to pay for your Lambo, right? Like you donated to help the cause, but they run it like a business rather than and that's what a lot of people don't understand about nonprofit organizations is they're allowed to make a profit, right? They don't have to be profitless to be nonprofit. You just have to quote unquote give away a certain percentage of it. With Ukraine, for example, the percentage lost was in the single digits, and that was due strictly to gas fees, right? Which gas fees are essentially, think about it like a tax to use the blockchain, right? Because it's the physical cost of writing to the blockchain. So other than that, there was no money lost because there was no employees to pay. There was no files to file. There was no paperwork that needed to be printed. There was no infrastructure. It was just people helping other people and doing it in a way that, to your point, you could trust because you could see every part of. But if before you chose to engage, if you wanted to, you could go and look at every part of both the history and the plan going forward, and even to the point of reading the code of what this is going to do. And so it allows you to not have to trust the individuals with it because it removes their ability, even if they're the founders, to, like, you're not going to have a second set of books, right? You're not going to have a slush fund. These things can't exist in a world where you can see everything. And that's what some of these technologies allow you to do at scale quickly, and do it in a way where people can trust. They can trust things are going to go where they want to go because you can see it. There's so much transparency because you can read the code, you can read what's going to happen, you can look at the history of the people that are introducing it and see everything they've ever done. And that's scary to some people, but to me, I go, well, if you're scared of your record, then you have a bigger problem than transparency. Like, if transparency is scary, you need to search your soul for why. Anyway, so all that to say, I think it's pretty cool.